Welcome to HubKor, the premier connector for the SyteLine ERP webinar. In the next few minutes, we will dive into how HubKor can transform your business. Imagine seamlessly connecting your SyteLine ERP system to edge solutions like Salesforce, SAP Concur, Tipalti, and more, without the need for expensive middleware. With HubKor, you'll discover the power of our pre-built, bi-directional integrations that streamline operations, reduce costs by up to 50%, and ensure long-term scalability. Get ready to see live demos, explore practical insights, and have your questions answered in real time. Let's unlock new levels of efficiency and growth together with HubKor.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name's Gary Moyle. I'm the presenter today. I'm from HubKor, an Infor partner. And we're going to talk to you about an integration solution we have called HubKor. This has been around, you'll soon see in the presentation, for 2 to 3 years now. And for some of you, I do recognize some of your names. You've been in this presentation before. Okay, so the product we're talking about, HubKor, it's an iPaaS, if you like. It's an integration tool between SyteLine and Visual, actually. Now there's some new news, but nobody on the call, I don't believe, will be interested in Visual. So let me talk you through each slide, and let's talk about what we did and why. So going back, this goes back way before 2010, by the way. I just thought it was polite to say that the problem really started surfacing in 2010. But we all enjoy the great product SyteLine, and the strategy of Infor really is not to offer built-in integrations. So that was a problem for us, certainly as partners, and probably you as customers, that there really wasn't a integration tool to all the popular edge solutions. So that's where we were for at least a decade, as our competitors were in the marketplace offering pre-built integrations. And Infor really didn't come down that path with us as customers and partners. So we saw the gap. We saw it quite some time ago. So in 2021, we began developing a solution as HubKor to try and address this need, the ability for either new customers into the SyteLine environment or customers who've been on SyteLine quite some time, and the acknowledgement that the edge solutions, as we call them, really were super important. Things like Salesforce or CRM systems or Magento, Shopify, e-commerce systems, they were fundamental to the running of our businesses. So we really needed a way of bringing SyteLine with a pre-built integration into these world-class, often best-of-breed solutions. If I could ask one of my colleagues to just keep an eye on the lobby for me and let everybody in, that'd be great. Partnered with the best of breed. So yes, we started writing this tool back in 2021, but then we needed to partner with these edge solutions and create relationships with them. So that's where 2022 came in, and you'll soon see who we chose in the beginning. Did we choose the partners that we felt were going to give us the broadest market? Probably not, but you'll see who we chose in the beginning. So that was really all 2022 was about, was us having designed the solution, created what is in effect an iPaaS, which was the integration product. Now we had to form those relationships. And in 2023, we began to make this available. So we were about 18 months into developing the product. We had the iPaaS, we had the relationships with the edge solutions, and we launched the product in 2023. What are we looking to do here with HubKor? Well, we would like it to be one of the deepest integrations that's available. So when you see this soon, I think you'll agree, and I don't think we have any current customers on the line. I don't see any. But the integrations are meant to be deep rather than just doing the basics. So for example, CRM. Many people have written integrations with CRM that will pass master data, customers, quotes, orders, AP, shipments, some of the basics. There are many integrations out there that do this already. So what we said was, could we go deeper? And although we spent a lot of time on going deep into these integrations and making them as deep as they can, we still find occasionally there are some challenges. And I'll talk about one in about 10 minutes or so, where we thought we had the integration as deep as we could. Lots of customers are already live. And then lo and behold, just literally 4 or 5 weeks ago, a customer said, well, hold on, you don't handle landed cost in this integration. And I was like, yeah, my God, you're right. We never even thought about that. So off we went. And we wrote the integration to the landed cost module in SyteLine because we'd missed it. But hey-ho, we'll never think of everything, I guess. But that was the goal, to write deep integrations to these third-party solutions. Now, using Ion, that was where we began. So we really wrote this in a way that was for cloud customers. We were recognizing the integration requirements were often to cloud solutions, and I keep saying Salesforce, I apologize, but many of these edge solutions are found in the internet, in the web, if you like. So the first thing we did was write this for SyteLine cloud environment, and we had to use Ion for that, of course. So that was the direction we went in first. You'll see soon that we've gone beyond using Ion, and now we offer our integrations to on-prem customers as well. Really the strength versus the competition here, right? There's people in the marketplace you might know. If you've ever looked at integration software, there are 3 very, very big players. The reason we felt comfortable going up against those established names was they don't understand the end result, right? They don't understand SyteLine. They don't understand Visual, M3, LN, Cloud Suite distribution. And this is really where I think there's a true differentiator versus those 3, is that we are experts in the Infor ERP system. None of our integrations work with generic ERP. They work very tightly with the edge solution and the end solution ERP, and that's why they've been written. These are not meant to be generic. They don't require further work. They are, within reason, plug and play, and that's really a differentiator, we think. They're pre-built, and if they're pre-built, if you've tried to write integrations in the past, probably many of you on the call have done so, they take a long time. They're very expensive. And each of the edge solutions and the ERPs are constantly changing their functionality. Well, this literally is a plug and play environment. You take a SaaS subscription within reason. We flick a switch and all the data starts moving between the 2 systems. Now, the reality of that is it's a great concept, but inevitably all of the standard fields are not enough. So most of you on the call have probably extended one or the other. You've either extended SyteLine and you have 10, 20, 50, couple of hundred user-defined fields, or that's happened in the edge solution as well, be it a Concur or a Shopify, Magento, Salesforce. So there is inevitably that time requirement for us to get the custom fields in there as well. But all the standard fields, the hundreds and thousands of fields that come standard out of SyteLine and standard in Salesforce, they are no more than flicking a switch and the data starts moving. Okay, so it's very quick. Typically, we'd have you up and running in maybe 5-7 days, a week or 2 should be a typical lead time to get the integration moving. Given the time and given the tight integration, we believe this also over time should be a lowest total cost of ownership. Of course, it's a SaaS subscription. There's no upfront fee. If you've done integrations, typically they're going to run you into the tens of thousands of dollars up front, and then they need maintaining. So the fact it's fast, the fact it's a SaaS subscription, it's a monthly subscription, it's fully maintained. If the integrations change in either party, the third party or an Infor ERP, they're fully maintained by our integration layer. The team, like many Infor partners, have been doing this stuff for a long time. Yes, we've been writing integrations 20, 30 years ago. The old-fashioned way, the painful way, everything was unique at the time. So in our team, we do have lots and lots of years. The guy who runs this for us, he's been around the SyteLine space for 30-something years and has written more integrations than he cares to remember. So our cumulative experience in this. Obviously, we are SyteLine and now Visual, which you'll hear about soon, a very extensive integration experience. So what elements do we need to make this work? Well, we're lucky enough to leverage the technology that Infor offers, of course. So on the left there, you see SyteLine in the cloud and Ion. Those two pieces are provided by Infor, which is nice if you're a cloud subscriber. If you're not, obviously you enjoy the SyteLine piece, but not the Ion piece. You don't need that if you're on premise. So that's the first piece. We're leveraging Infor technology. We then wrote the iPaaS. This sits in AWS. So again, if you're on Infor Cloud or thinking of moving to Infor Cloud, that sits on AWS as well. So we have all the same securities. We let AWS worry about everything that AWS need to worry about. So HubKor was written in AWS to mirror all of the securities and good feeling I hope everybody would get from having a solution that's managed by AWS. That's where HubKor sits. Where did we start in 2022? Well, we started with these integrations. We had 10 of them. Some could argue that wasn't the best choice, and that's subjective, of course. So we picked a CRM system, the number one CRM system, and that remains our number one selling system almost 3 years later. And we picked a couple of e-commerce systems and Concur for expense management. So that's really where we began. The rest of them came from customers who bought those solutions. So the way this thing grew often was a customer would come along, subscribe for Salesforce, for example, and we had that and we turned it on and they'd say, well, you know what, we need Streamix. Will you do Streamix? And we said, yeah, sure, we can write that one for you. So some of these weren't what I would call industry-leading products. They were driven by our customers asking us to write more integrations. And some of those you see on the bottom right were really driven by the customers who bought things like Salesforce, Shopify, Magento, and Concur, which were deliberately integrated, of course. So we began in a humble beginning there with 10 integrations, pretty much the launch year that we had. Then year two, after our 1 year anniversary, that grew super quick. And we had now 21 integrations. So we doubled the number of integrations. Customers were coming thick and fast. And I'd like to say we very much became customer focused. Our roadmap was no longer ours. We thought we knew what direction we were going in, but you know what? Customers said, we'd like this and we'd like that. And everything pretty much became customer focused from year two. So pretty much, I would say everything that got added on that list was not driven by our original roadmap. Some of them were, some of them overlapped, of course, but most of them were driven by customers who asked for further integration. So a good year two, we went from 10 to 21 integrations in year two. Still integrating to SyteLine and still only offering this to cloud solutions. So year three, and we're nearly complete our year three. This brings us right up to date today. The visual changed because we had to get some organization around it. So year two, we're now up to 37 integrations. So we pretty much doubled year one. We went from 10 to 20, and we've nearly gone from 20 to 40. The year's not over. We might finish on 40. So we've really got a lot of integrations there now, as you can see, 37. It further expanded through customer demand. Again, talk about the customer driving us. A lot of customers came to us and said, you know what, we're not cloud. We don't intend to go cloud, or we don't intend to go cloud anytime soon, but we love the idea. You know, would you be willing to write this to an on-prem version of SyteLine? So that became a big deal for us, and we had our first on-prem customer go live in early 2024. So this is now offered for cloud and on-prem. And then again, the market, every time I say this, I guess it gets a little bit repetitive, but the market drove us. And we then started getting inquiries from visual customers who liked this idea as well. And we started writing the integration for visual. So we now have 2 customers live on visual, and that is making us move in other directions you will see soon. So as the ERPs from Infor start to hear more and more about this product, there is more interest coming. And right now in the pipeline, we have 2 LN customers who are asking for this, and we have an M3 customer asking for this as well. So we could find by the end of 2024, we can talk about integrating with 4 ERP systems from Infor, which would be quite exciting. You can see in here we have, from the top left up there, e-commerce is very much driving what we're doing. I would say we probably have nearly all the big names up there: Shopify, Magento, Amazon, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, and Alarin, phase 0. Moving across to the right, that's becoming more full at the moment. We've probably got the big 3, I guess, very subjective: Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, and HubSpot for CRM. Recently, just completed the Monday.com. Just moving there to 1 o'clock, a lot of financial tools revolving predominantly around 2 areas, either payroll or expense management. Tipalti and SAP Concur have 2 offerings, right? They're a little unique in that way. And the fact that they do classic expense management and AP automation. So inside that bubble up there on the top right at 1 o'clock, you've got AP automation, expense management, and payroll. Typically the financial world, I might say, of the little bundle there. To the right there, 2 o'clock, very much about financial reporting, especially those customers who've moved to the cloud have suggested the reporting options are a little limited. So we're getting more and more customers coming and asking us to integrate to best-of-breed reporting tools for the financials and consolidations. So we've so far connected to DataRails, Board, Profix, and Workday. And Workday is a bit like Monday.com. It's pretty much an ERP system as well, but it seems like we're seeing customers are using Workday for financial reporting needs. BI, that's really data warehousing, but we use the same tool to export data for customers who have a BI strategy and they want to push that data somewhere and they want it to then be a repository for a BI tool that they want to sit on top of it. For us, it's the same tool. We extract from SyteLine or Visual today, we push it through a middleware, and then the endpoint for that is often Microsoft Azure, where the sitting Power BI on top of it seems to be the most popular solution today. Bottom right, and then really towards the bottom, they're becoming a little more segregated, one might say. PLM discrete. This was an Infor initiative. The SyteLine team didn't take up the PLM integration when it went to the cloud, so we had lots of customers and Infor asking us to write the integration to their own PLM system, which was interesting. We did that. Salsify is a PIM as opposed to a PLM, a PIM, Product Information Manager. Field Service, only one to date, which was Dynamics 365 Field Service. We do have an inquiry in now to write it into Salesforce Field Service, but we haven't agreed to do that one yet. Bunch of mixed bags at the bottom there, around 6-7 o'clock, with Jira, RingCentral, Adobe. Paperless parts is becoming quite common. That's a quoting tool for manufacturers. And then parcel shipping. These are very simple tools. We actually plug this into the customer order, of course. Standard order shipping, which it isn't presently available for. Pick, pack, ship isn't available in the cloud. But we've also wrote it into the service order as well. We're pretty big into the service industry. So we've written these integrations into service orders, transfer orders, and the classic customer order shipping and pick, pack, ship. So that's where we are now, 37 and counting. Quite a big team now and a big strategic product for us. Just to give you, I'm going to talk about 2 of them. They're our 2 top selling products. Salesforce, without a doubt, it's getting caught up now, but it's still the number 1 selling product, is Salesforce. And I wanted to show you the depth we've gone to. If I just put my cursor over here, most people who've wrote Salesforce integrations will stop with master data and sales. But as you can see, we've gone much deeper with our integration. We've covered the forecasting module, the service module, a rental module, which might surprise you. That's not standard SyteLine, but we have a rental module for those people who rent equipment, and then projects. So hopefully it gives you an idea that we didn't stop with our integration where many did. We've really tried to go deep with Salesforce. We just celebrated a go live with our biggest customer to date. They have 17 sites around the world and 5 instances of Salesforce. Incredibly complex business, and they just went live last weekend. So we're quite proud of that one. That's our biggest to date. And then this one is really just our second biggest. It's becoming a big deal. Anybody who's interested in this world, AP automation, this has crept up on us. Probably our second most popular integration today is AP automation. And we've currently started working with Tipalti and SAP. And really that's driven often by price point. SAP is an expensive route to go, but more functional. And Tipalti is more of a price fighter, AP automation as well. So we handle everything again. So instead of just going at a high cursory level, we handle pay automation. So basically when you're onboarding a vendor, you can start in the Infor ERP system you can move into creating the vendor inside these AP automation systems, and then you can have it captured at the end. Then there's a third, there's the whole billing. So again, talking about that depth. So we offer 3 AP automations from single, I call it one-way match is a little bit of a slang. That really isn't a match at all. It's just a miscellaneous invoice that comes in from a vendor, be it an electricity bill or a rent bill, something like that. Then we handle 2-way match as well. And then we ultimately go to the true 3-way matching with the PO, the receipt, and obviously the invoice itself. So we didn't stop. The whole thing is pushing all the invoices. So if you're used to AP automation yet, or if you've come across it, you'll know the key here is OCR, of course. That's what drives everything. The invoice is often scanned by an OCR engine. Having read the transactions from it to do the matching principle, then an image comes in, and then we capture that image and we put it into IDM for you. And again, those in the cloud will be very familiar with IDM. And we're matching it up in many ways, obviously to the receiver, to the AP invoice, to the purchase order, to the vendor. So we're pulling in lots of good IDM information as well. And then lastly, the final payment. Again, so we haven't stopped even at the matching principle. Some people are using AP automation to pay the vendors as well. So we've gone all the way from vendor onboarding, AP automation, 3-way matching, 2-way matching, single matching, IDM, and then finally the payment. So again, that's another one that shows the depth of the integration, and we haven't stopped at a cursory level as well. So in summary, do we feel we're offering here? This is basically an integration that we think is seamless. Really, there's no work from you. There's no upfront cost from you. This will use Infor if you're in the cloud, or it uses the ERP. So right now, SyteLine is available as an on-premise or a cloud integration. And Visual, which isn't for this audience, clearly is not being moved to the cloud, so therefore is only an API integration. It's pre-built. These things are written by us. We put our money where our mouth is. We write the integration. We take it to the marketplace. We start advertising, and we're not waiting for you to come along and tell us you need an integration. We're investing up front in this, 37 integrations. So basically, this is, we hope, for you as a potential customer, this will offer the quickest time to value. You subscribe, turn the switch, flick the switch, and we hope within a couple of weeks you'll be integrated. It is very affordable. If you do get pricing on the big 3 that I mentioned, you'll find them somewhat eye-watering. They are very expensive, not typically for the smaller side of SMB. Their typical year 1 prices will be circa 80,000 for the first year. They'll take a long time to implement if you go down those routes again. We have all that experience I mentioned with the team. That's really the differentiator here. Yes, it's cloud, but there's competitors in the cloud. Yes, it's a SaaS. There's competitors who offer SaaS subscription. Really what this is one throat to choke, right? We are ERP experts. We're Ion experts. We're our own tools experts, HubKor, of course, and then we're experts in the edge solution. So if you came to us and said, hey, you know what, we're implementing Salesforce. Could you offer Salesforce expertise? And yes, we have people on staff employed by us who are Salesforce experts. So we're taking the edge solutions seriously as well. So typically, often, the customer will have a partner already, be it a Shopify partner, a Microsoft Dynamics partner, a Salesforce partner. That's okay. And we often work with them, of course we do. But if that customer wants to transfer the whole responsibility for the chain to us, we can handle everything through from ERP, Ion, HubKor into the edge solution, and we can handle the whole thing. And then lastly, there was that, let's call it the thing that makes it instant is that ability to extend. So we offer the ability to take the out-of-the-box package, integrate all the fields that SyteLine comes with and Salesforce comes with. I'll keep using that one. But then there could be tens or hundreds of user-defined fields having been created, and we offer to match them for you as well. So during the business process review, we will clearly ask you whether there are any UD fields, UETs, and we'll get them scoped as well. And we'll be migrating all the UETs, user-defined fields, in either direction. They could have began in Salesforce. They could have began in SyteLine. It doesn't matter. We go in both directions, of course. So this tool is also ability to extend the out-of-the-box solution. Clearly, in real world, that means a flip of the switch, which was what happens with the out-of-the-box solution, now could become a couple of months for us to scope the integration and offer you a full extended solution, of course. So that's really a summary of today's presentation. Something that we're excited about, and I mentioned it shows the way the product is moving. as the word gets around, we are looking to write the solution for LN in the winter. So over probably the November to March period, we'll be looking to write this integration for LN later this year. And then an offer to you guys is, if you find that of the 37 solutions that are available today, you have a solution that you would like to see, please let us know. We're out there, we're writing these integrations pretty quickly. And if you need something that we don't have, please let us know, and we will attempt to write that for you. And we can do it in two ways. We can just write an integration, which is the way many have been done in the past, or we can build something into our wheel, and therefore, there's no charge to you, of course. We just resell it. So please, anything that you didn't see in there that you need, please get in touch. This is my final slide, you'd be glad to hear. So depending on question, this is our contact us page. We're all good. Well, thank you everybody for coming along and listening to what we have today. Thank you, everybody.